we had a 4-stroke penalty infraction that happened in the middle of Sunday's round. Lexi at the time had a 4-stroke lead when it happened and ended up losing in a playoff in overtime. It's I've said this now probably in 40 television interviews in the last 24 hours. It's a great example of just because you're commissioner doesn't mean you're a fan. I was a golf fanatic before I became commissioner. I'll be a golf fanatic way after I leave this office. And I was sitting in my home on Sunday screaming at the TV, and by the way, screaming at my rules officials, who were at the time talking to Lexi, even though I knew what they were doing was 100% right by the rules. It's a great example of something that's 100% right by the rules and feels 100% wrong on all functions. And when I said that out loud, my media group goes, "You can't say that." And I said, exactly what I'm going to say, because that's exactly how I feel. The penalty in this case doesn't fit the crime, and it drives me crazy. There's a lot of things about the rules of golf that drive you crazy, and if the rules of golf don't drive you crazy, you just haven't played golf long enough, they'll get you. It's just a matter of time. But I think one of the things that kind of throws people is the fact that in golf, if somebody from outside the competition reaches out to a golf tournament and says, "I think I saw an infraction on number 7, and we have video evidence to review it," we review it. Doesn't matter if it comes from a fan, a walking volunteer, could come from another competitor or caddy. And so what I've gotten 36 hours of nonstop is, I can call into the NFL and say I saw a holding penalty and you're going to overturn the reality of it is we get less than one of these a tournament. But the belief is for both USJ and the RNA is any input you get to protect 144 players in the field, you have a right to make sure that you're protecting them. So that's what we do. In this case, our rules official saw this, it was an infraction. Unfortunately, we don't get to choose what kind of penalty to dole out. That's delivered by the rules of golf. But I won't lie to you, as both a commissioner and a fan, it hurt to watch that happen. I know how hard these athletes work. I was saying the other day that Lexi Thompson or Suzanne Pedersen or So Young Yu or Inby Park, whoever was in those final groups, they didn't get there on Sunday because they had a good week. They didn't get there on Sunday because they had a good season. They got there because all of them, since about age 6, have committed their lives to being the best professional athlete they could possibly be. These kids don't golf for 4 hours a day. They work out for 20 hours a day. So when you see an athlete putting herself in the position to be at the absolute pinnacle of sport and have a career-changing win and have it change like that, it's hard not to be a father in that moment. And that's what I was. I was a father screaming at the TV, crying with my wife that night when I went to bed. My wife said to me, "Why do you do this job? Like, look at you, you're a mess." And I said, "I do it because I'm a mess." Like, I've sold stuff for a living. I mean, I was the brand manager of Crest Toothpaste when I started. And if any of you want to talk to me about tartar control later, I am your man. Because I can get just as excited about your gum health as I can about your golf game. But when I got into the game of golf, I was a caddy as a kid. I cut greens and changed pin placements all the way until I was a senior in college. Every weekend, usually dressed the way I was from Friday night, I was out there at 5 o'clock in the morning cutting greens. And golf's in me. And so to me, being a commissioner isn't about a job, and it isn't about, because there's cool and there's great things about it, just I'm sure like being a mayor. I mean, sitting up here feels pretty good. Actually campaign probably doesn't feel as good. And I can tell you right now, I just walked this morning, I walked from my car to the stupid big tree and about 4,000 interviews along that walk, and of course every question was this question. But I love these kids, and it's hard to see somebody get thrown a curveball like this.